So, guys, the question is, you know, we are talking about expansionary monetary policy or contractionary. We are talking about increase in the supply of money and decrease in the supply of money. But increase and decrease is versus something, na? Like we need to know the ideal supply of money, which is required for the economy. And then when we compare it with the ideal, if the supply of money is higher, we say it is increase, and if the supply of money is less, then we say it is decrease. But we have to compare it with something, right? What is that ideal supply of money, which doesn't affect the economic growth? It only controls the inflation, keeps it in the target range. Remember, some time ago I mentioned that monetary policies, they affect the economic growth in the short run but not in the long run. Remember I said that?
Yes.
That's exactly what we are discussing now. I mean, related concept. So what is that level of, you know, growth of supply will the central bank keep such that the economy is not affected? And that is what is called as the neutral interest rate. But before that, just one thing. Earlier, central banks, although their objective was to control the inflation, they were focusing on the wrong thing. Earlier, central banks would target a particular interest rate, and based on that, they would increase or decrease it. Later, they realized that it's very stupid to target interest rate. We rather target the inflation. So, we rather have the monetary policy which is targeting the inflation and keeping it in a particular manner. And that's what is neutral interest rate. Neutral interest rate. The first thing first. Neutral interest rate is not a policy rate. It is not an interest rate only. Yes, the name is neutral interest rate, but what is neutral interest rate? It is basically the growth rate of the money supply, which ensures that whatever is the target rate of inflation, the real GDP growth is not affected. Please take a thorough note of this. Neutral interest rate is not the interest rate about borrowing and lending, it is the growth rate of money supply. How much money to supply from one period to another, the growth rate of money supply. How do you determine the neutral interest rate? Well, to be honest, there are many regression models, a little complicated regression models. Some are stochastic models. So, what is stochastic indicators and all? It's a little too deep statistics, but it's a complicated model which is used by the central banks across the world. Uh, it's it's a software, but at a very basic level, neutral rate interest rate. What is neutral interest rate? The growth rate of money supply is equal to or approximately equal to the real GDP growth plus the inflation. Now, please note I said inflation, the target inflation, not the current inflation, the target. Because remember, whatever is the current inflation, we want to go towards the target. Am I correct? So now the question which should be in your mind is that how is neutral interest rate ensuring that the real GDP is not affected, even if there is inflation which is there, the target inflation is there? How is that happening? And of course, your question is, hey, what is this formula? Like, to be honest, I mean, the intuition behind this formula, once you understand that intuition, you will understand how neutral interest rate, the growth rate of money supply, ensures that the GDP is not affected. Let me show it to you. Let's say the real GDP, as on today, you have manufactured, 100 units goods and services are there in the economy, and the price at which they are being sold is $1. Let's say the expected, you have to keep in mind the trend. The expected real GDP growth rate is 3%. So now, can I say you would actually then, after a period, there will be 103 units which will be produced and sold in the economy? Let's say this is the only product which is being sold in the economy. Can I say there will be 103 units, real GDP growth?
Yes, so
And keeping in mind that, let's say there is inflation target of 2%, you see this same goods will now be worth $1.02. Am I correct? Now, as per the formula, it says that the growth rate, the money supply growth rate, should be 3% plus 2%. It should be 5%. First, let me prove it to you that if it is 5%, if the money supply is 5%, if the central bank is able to, get or come up with this number, getting this number is very difficult. It's very difficult to estimate the real GDP growth rate accurately. So yeah, you would be like, "Arey, it's so easy to get 5%, 3 plus 2, but getting 3 is only difficult. You're just estimating that, real GDP growth rate trend. But let's say you accurately estimated that. So you know what will happen if the supply growth rate is 5%. You see, earlier there were only $100 which were in the economy. So with 5% money supply growth rate, they will pump in additional $5, and later there will be $105 in the economy. Am I correct? With the 5% growth rate, guys. Now here's the thing: there is only one goods and services which is available in the economy, and it is priced at $1.02. So now you will use that $105 to purchase these goods at $1.02. If you do the calculation, it approximately is equal to 103 units. You see, in this case, while the money grew by 5%, it took care of 2% of inflation. The inflation of 2% ate away the 5% money supply growth. And that's why the real GDP growth stayed at 3%. 100 become 103. However, if they miscalculated this number, let's say the growth rate is, let's say, 3%. So $100, later they added another $3, so $103. Now here's the thing: the inflation is going to be there, so they will buy those units at $1.02. Now they will have purchased 101 units. You see, the real GDP growth rate, while it was expected to be 3% or whatever it was, it actually turned out to be 1%. 100 units became 101 units. Are you realizing over here that how inflation eats up? And are you realizing if your growth rate of supply is not capturing the inflation rate, it will eat up your real GDP growth rate. It will affect you. Are you getting it, all of you? So if you compare blue color with red color, you will realize that yes, it does make sense that to maintain your GDP growth rate of 3%, you will have to have the money supply growth rate such that it also factors in the inflation target. And that's why 5% makes sense. If it is not, then there will be, in this case, recession, because the output has reduced. Make sense?
Yes.
So I've just done the same calculation slightly over here. So what happens is there is insufficient liquidity, spending slows down, there is output gap is negative, and there is a contractionary policy because they have to have higher interest rates in. However, if it is blue color, the actual GDP growth rate is equal to the expected. So the money supply growth rate of 5% takes care of the inflation, thus not allowing the inflation to affect the real GDP growth rate. And there is sufficient liquidity, there is no output gap. The actual GDP is equal to the potential GDP, if you remember what we discussed earlier. And because of this, there is a neutral policy. Over here, the central bank will not think of changing the interest rates and increasing the supply of money or decreasing the supply of money, because it's pretty much there. And therefore, the formula does make sense. It's an intuitive formula, but it does make sense. Are you getting it? The neutral interest rate. All of you? Yeah,
Yes.
so we were discussing, how do they determine the supply of money? Well, this is how they determine the supply of money. And lastly, there can also be situations where central bank, they are using all the monetary policy tools, policy rates, reserves, what is the third thing? Open market operations. They're using all of them, but they are not successful. Why that would be the case? Let's talk about